Hello and welcome back everyone. Today we will be seeing the remaining portion of the chapter 4 of your NCERT Geography book, that is air. I had discussed about it like half of it in my previous video. So today we are going to wrap it up. Alright. So let's get started with the recapitulation. Till now we have seen that air or the atmosphere is a thin blanket which surrounds our earth, and it is one of those elements for which we call the earth a unique planet. Now, in the composition of the atmosphere, we have seen that most of the earth's atmosphere is made up of nitrogen, which is a very beneficiary gaseous it's a beneficiary gas not only for the human beings but also for the plants and the animal kingdom. So we have also seen that how oxygen help us with its 21% of concentration in the atmosphere, and apart from these two major gases we have the other gases such as helium, krypton, argon, xenon, and of course we have the water vapor. So that was all about the Earth's composition. Then we have seen what are the different layers of the atmosphere and what are the different works of it or the features. And we have also seen that how the different layers of the atmosphere execute different functions, and how the upper layer of the atmosphere or the troposphere, it is one of the most important layer of the earth, and how it affects the weather and climate of any particular place or country or region. Now after this we will see that what is how the temperature is getting affected. The temperature that we feel every day is the temperature of the atmosphere. Of course, the due to the sun's radiation, the atmosphere traps the heat and then it radiates the heat, and that is why our atmosphere gets heated. The temperature of the atmosphere changes not only between day and night but also from season to season. It's very obvious summers are very hot rather than the winters, so it also changes from different seasons to season. Okay. The influence on the distribution of the temperature from the sun to the earth is called the insolation. It means the solar energy intercepted by the earth. The amount of insolation decreases from the equator towards the pole, obviously, because the equatorial region are the region where the sun gives its vertical rays throughout the year, so they gets heated more than the polar region. Thus the insolation, the amount of insolation also decreases from the equator towards the pole. And the temperature in the cities is much higher than that of villages. It is also very relevant because in cities not only the temperature is asserted by the amount of insolation, but many other factors. Why we always say that plant a tree, plant a sapling? Because we know that the that the trees help us to maintain the balance of the nature, and it also responsible for giving you a cooler environment. So in the villages there are many more vegetation cover than in cities, because the city population is high, and due to the construction or the availability of land for making the lands available for their habitats, people are cutting down trees, and they are being too reckless in cutting down the trees. So the rate of deforestation is more in the city region, so it is obviously will be much more warmer than the village, where the it is abundant with the greenery. Next comes the air pressure. So it can be defined as the pressure exerted by the air onto the atmosphere. So we can immensely feel air pressure when we actually travel. Okay, how? When we travel, suppose we are traveling along a flat surface, we don't feel that much of air pressure. But yes, when we climb the hilly terrain, or suppose we are climbing the hills in Darjeeling, yes, we feel the air pressure, because there the pressure is very, very low as we are climbing the height. So with the increasing height, the air pressure actually drops. Okay, so that is why the mountaineers, those who climb the mountains, they need sufficient amount of oxygen with them while climbing up. So the air becomes thin, and with the thinning of air, the air pressure significantly drop. All right, and we feel breathless while climbing the mountains. Okay, so heavier air is always associated with high pressure, and the warm air is always associated with the low pressure. Now we are coming to the wind system. The movement of air from high pressure to the low pressure area is called wind. You know that if there is a forecast in the news that there are several low pressure zones that have been created in the Bay of Bengal or in any tropical sea or oceans or in the Arabian Sea, which happens a little rarely. So mostly in Bay of Bengal, this phenomena happen at the advent of summer or at the advent of monsoon. So it means that the air gets heated up so much due to insolation that the warmer air is always lighter, as you know, so it travels upward. So when it travels upward, the space occupied by the warmer air is becoming empty, void. So from the surrounding high pressure area, the wind travels or rushes to fill up the gap of the warmer air. So this is how the wind creates a balance, and we can feel the wind. Sometimes when the wind blows gently, you can even see it blowing away smoke or fine dust. At times wind can be strong and it's difficult to walk against it. Okay, so we all know the how a wind can be dangerous and what are the how powerful it can be, because Indian subcontinent has experienced Umphoon super cyclone very recently, mostly in the coast of Bengal and Orissa, and few months back also the Arabian coast, few states have experienced this similar type of low pressure regime. So we, those who live near the coast, we know very clearly that how powerful a wind can be. Now this typical wind system we can broadly divide into three categories. Okay, what are they? The permanent wind, the seasonal wind, and the local wind. The trade wind, westerly and the easterlies are the permanent winds. They blow constantly throughout the year in a particular direction. Seasonal winds change their direction in different seasons. For example, monsoons in India. Local winds, they blow only during a particular period of the year and in a smaller area. For example, land breeze and sea breeze. Okay, so there is a broader classification of this wind system, because depending on this wind system, several other things depend. So this is the major pressure belts and the wind system, and it's very interesting how the pressure belts are located alternatively in high and low pressure zones, so that the wind can blow and maintain a perfect balance. So the example of permanent wind system is trade wind, westerly and the easterlies. Seasonal wind, which blows permanent winds are also called trade winds, which blow throughout the year. Okay, these are the permanent wind system which blow throughout the year. Seasonal winds are the winds which only blow in a particular season, that is the monsoon winds can be the example. Local winds again, either it can be a sea breeze or a land breeze in the coastal region majorly, and in some parts of the country they also blow during a particular season. Like we have a Chinook which blow down the slopes of the Rockies, and it's a warm wind, and it also helps in melting of the snow and letting those people to do some agriculture. So these are some of the examples of local wind. And one more example of local wind is Loo. In the northern plains during the summer season. In the northern plains, these winds blow. So Lu is a very hot wind, as we know, and it blows during the summer season. So these are the three broad categories of wind system that we have. Now if you look at this carefully, we will see that we'll start from the equatorial low pressure zone. Above it we have, equatorial low pressure zone will always be a low pressure area, because here the oceans or the water bodies are heated so much that it creates the warm air which rises above. So to fill that gap, we have the subtropical high pressure belts, from which the wind blows downwards. Then again we have the subpolar low pressure belts, and then we have the polar high pressure belts. Polar high pressure belts, it's very obvious that the polar regions are permanently snow covered, so the air pressure is the air present there is high and heavy, so the pressure will also be high. So this is the perfect balance how it has been drawn, and it is located in a perfect synchronization. So you need to learn this diagram, children, which will help you to understand it in a better way. Then lastly, we are coming to the factor of moisture. Now what is moisture? Moisture in the air at any time is known as humidity. We have moisture in the air, that is why we sweat so much. If you go to Delhi, you won't sweat this much, okay? But if you go to Kolkata on summer days, you will sweat a lot. Because of its location also, the humidity differs, or the moisture content of the air differs, okay? Delhi is much away from the any water bodies, thus the air in Delhi is a little dry, okay? And also in the case of Rajasthan. Okay, so we will see now that when the air is full of water vapor, we call it a humid day. As the air gets warmer, its capacity to hold the water vapor increases, and so it becomes more and more humid. On a humid day, clothes take longer to dry, and sweat from our body does not evaporate easily, making us feel uncomfortable. So we often say that it's a very hot and sultry day, very humid day. Humidity is very high because the air is getting humid, and that is why we feel we are sweating like anything. When the water vapor rises, it starts cooling. The water vapor condenses, forming droplets of water. Clouds are just masses of such water droplets. When the air droplets of air become too heavy to float in the air, then they come down as precipitation. So this moisture is again having a proper cycle. I told you when I was explaining you the water cycle, I told you that water moves in a particular direction in a particular cycle. So this water is the water content of the air is coming from the nearby water bodies after they are getting evaporated. So when they are getting evaporated, the water is becoming light, much lighter. So it is moving upward, and it is coming in contact with the colder atmosphere above, where it is forming the water droplets are condensing and forming the clouds. The cloud is again coming down as rain. This is how the complete balance is maintained, okay? Jet planes flying in the sky leave a white trail behind them. The moisture from their engines condenses due to the height and the cold atmosphere. We see the trails as it condenses moisture for the time and the movement, and it disturb it. So the precipitation that comes down from the earth in liquid form is called rain, or there are various forms of precipitation: rain, dew, snow, hail, sleet. So all these are the different forms of precipitation. When trees on the hillsides are cut, rainwater flows down the bare mountains and can cause flooding of low-lying areas. On the basis of mechanism, there are three types of rainfall: the convectional rainfall, the orographic rainfall, and the cyclonic rainfall. So again, when the moisture in the air will be condenses and they form the cloud, and the cloud is again coming down as rain. Rains can also be classified under three divisions based on how they are raining or their pattern of falling. So we have convectional rainfall, orographic rainfall, and the cyclonic rainfall. So convection rainfall is more common in the equatorial region, they are more common there, where it has a particular timing, and due to the excessive evaporation of the water bodies, the water get condensed very quickly. Orographic rainfall is also called as relief rainfall. In this case, the moisture laden air which is about to cause the rainfall, it is obstructed by a particular relief, majorly here any hill or any mountain. So when the moisture laden winds gets heated by comes in contact with the particular relief, it get obstructed and form rainfall. Now what happens? The northwestern monsoon winds, when they enter the plains of the Western Ghats, they enter Kerala first, and then it moves upward. Then it will get collided with the Western Ghats. It is creating ample of rainfall in Mumbai, and that is why Mumbai gets flooded every year. Okay, so but on the other side, like the mountain is also having two sides, the windward side and the leeward side. On the windward side, it rains a lot. On the leeward side, it does not rain at all. So located in the same state, Mumbai gets a lot of rainfall, but on the other hand, Pune remains dry because it is located on the leeward side. So this is how the orographic rainfall happens. When the moisture laden air is getting hit by or it is getting obstructed by any relief, it will create rainfall. In case of cyclonic rainfall, this particular rainfall we get majorly in the higher altitude. Okay, so this is again, that was all about the three different types of rainfall that we have in your syllabus. Now, rainfall is very important for the survival of plants and animals as it brings fresh water to the earth's surface. If rainfall is less, water scarcity and drought occur. On the other hand, if it is more, flood takes place. So anything which is there excess than it is required, it will of course cause harm. So children, that was all about the chapter in a nutshell. You have to summarize, or you have to know few special concepts very well, like water air pressure, how does temperature fluctuates and get affected due to insolation, what is the difference between weather and climate, what are the different wind system and the major pressure belts. Okay, then you need to know what is humidity and what are the different types of rainfall along with their diagram. Whenever you are explaining rainfall, when you give a diagram, it becomes very relevant and very realistic. So do not forget to do that. Children, if you like the video, please, if you have enjoyed the video, please click the like button. If you are new to my channel, subscribe the channel, and please press the bell icon so that you get notified. And everyone share the video and let others also learn something out of it. I'll be back with some new lesson the next day. Till then, take care.